So our project today that we are going to be giving a presentation about is our mental health and culture project. My name is Michaela Otto. I'm from New Lenox, Illinois. I am in a double major in special education and elementary education.
Uh, the second picture is Nikki Pachalski. She's unable to record with us, but she is from Alsip, Illinois. She's also majoring in elementary education. I am Brittany Tanika, the third picture. I am from Justice, Illinois. I am majoring in elementary education and I'm minoring in ESL.
Hi, my name is Therese Clinton. I live in Chicago, Illinois. My major is elementary education and my minor is ESL.
Our overall goal is the plan for this project was for us to examine how mental health diagnoses are accepted by various cultures. Since one's culture can be identified in various ways, for this study we will be looking at ethnicity, gender, and religious practice. We created a survey that was sent out to be filled out anonymously. We then looked deeper into the impact mental health had on one's life, as well as how culture played a role.
What is mental health? According to the World Health Organization, mental health is a state of well-being in which the individual realizes his or her own abilities, can cope with the normal stresses of life, can work productively and fruitfully, and is able to make a contribution to his or her community.
What is culture? Culture is the characteristics and knowledge of a particular group of people encompassing language, religion, cuisine, social habits, music, and arts.
How does culture impact a mental health diagnosis? According to Mental Health First Aid, culture can influence how people describe and feel about their symptoms. It can affect whether someone chooses to recognize and talk about physical symptoms, only emotional symptoms, or both.
How does culture impact the way that a society considers mental illness? According to NCBI, culture weighs on whether or not people look for help, what type of coping styles, social supports, and how much stigma they attach to mental illness. Culture also influences the meanings that people impart to their illness.
Mental health in the U.S. Data from the National Institute of Mental Health shows that in the U.S., more white Americans are both diagnosed and likely to receive mental health services. Also, women are more likely to be diagnosed and treated compared to men. The graphs below show those two data points.
Questions asked in mental health survey. We conducted an informal survey of our family, friends, and colleagues to see how our culture compares to that of national data. Questions that we asked were, what is your gender? Choose the ethnicity you best identify with. What religion do you practice, if any? Have you ever been diagnosed with a mental illness? Do you feel that based upon your gender, mental health concerns or illness is accepted? Do you feel that mental illness is accepted by those within the same ethnicity as yours? Do you feel mental illness is accepted by your religion or those whom you practice with, if applicable? Are you comfortable discussing your mental health concerns with those within your same ethnic group or similar religious beliefs? Would you feel comfortable talking about your mental health with those of the same gender as you or the opposite gender? Would you feel more comfortable discussing your own mental health with those of another ethnic or religious group?
Mental health and culture data. What does data show about how culture affects the diagnosis of a mental illness as well as the acceptance within various cultures? Click here to find out.
So here I'm just going to show you guys what our survey looked like that we had sent out. So I'm just going to scroll down real quick. Just kind of gave a brief reasoning behind it, just saying that we're working on a final project. Just gave our names as well. As you can see, there's no where to put your name or any affiliation to you, so all of it was anonymous. So then I'll just scroll down. You can see all the questions that were asked, And then at the end, we received all of that data put together. So here I'm just showing what you would click on in that link in our PowerPoint. So it's just kind of like a brochure that shows all the data compared to the data that we had found out from different websites compared to the data then that we had discovered on our own. So here's those questions again. So the gender question all the way down to the final question, and then it just shows the results that we had discovered. So then based upon the data in our survey, we can see that it is very comparable and very similar to the data in the NMHI. Again, women are much more likely to be diagnosed than men, and 100% of the women who answered said they feel their diagnosis would be accepted compared to men who feel that theirs wouldn't. Furthermore, then the participants whose ethnicity is other than white, only 31% said mental health would be accepted by their culture based upon their ethnicity and religion. So this is just a slide just giving our data a little bit more in depth, just like the slide I had shown in the previous video. And then this is just going to be a short mental health video. We thought it would be really great to add just to talk about mental health and the overall idea of it and the stigmas that can come along with it. We thought it would even be a good thing to maybe show our future students depending on the age and the topic of discussion.
Have you ever asked yourself, what is mental health? It is not about being happy all the time or the absence of illness. Mental health is being able to feel, think, and act in ways that help us enjoy life and cope with the challenges we face. As our life experiences and circumstances change, so can our moods, thoughts, and sense of well being. Many things can affect our mental health in a positive or negative way. Stressful life situations, adjusting to life in a new country, living through violence, trauma, loss, discrimination, and racism are some things that can negatively affect our mental health. So, what is the difference between mental health and mental illness? Well, mental illness is a medical diagnosis given by a doctor, just like other illness like diabetes. And like diabetes, medications, supports, and treatments such as counseling can help someone get better. Mental illness can affect people of all ages, gender, education, income levels, and cultures. However, due to myths and misunderstandings, some people believe that mental illness is a personal weakness, a curse, or punishment from God, or is caused by the devil or evil spirits. This can result in labeling the person, especially when they are perceived as different or described as crazy or psycho. Because of these negative beliefs and myths, people with mental illness are treated poorly and face stigma. So,